Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Old School. Dave, my good friend and fellow YouTuber, is here. Dave is going to be playing
Bonk's Adventure on the TurboGrafx 16 or PC Engine, depending on which part of the world that you are in.
Yeah, this game I have played, I know you've played a lot of, Dave. Wow. Look at this. It still looks so cool to this day.
It does. Now, interestingly, Mike, the very first time I played this game, and this will make some people go, what, really? Do you remember that retro gaming event that we attended, myself, you and your brother?
In Bristol.
In 2018.
Yeah, in Bristol.
It's the first time I played this game. I'd never played it until then.
Oh, okay. I thought it was one that you had a lot of time with. I had played it before Bristol, but I don't know. It wasn't on the TurboGrafx 16, which gets me on to the point, guys, actually, because this was ported over to the NES, Game Boy, Amiga as well, I think. It featured on the Amiga, mate.
I'm not sure. I can't remember the Amiga version. I can definitely remember an NES version of this game, and it's very, very similar.
I must have played it on the NES as a kid, because my first foray into the world of the TurboGrafx 16 was at Bristol at that event.
Yeah, same for me, exactly same. I mean, I played it with emulation, but I'd never actually played a real system and played this game. This wasn't one I checked out before.
We played a lot. We sat and played a lot of this, didn't we? This particular game at that event. But yeah, guys, if you have never played Bonk before, there are a few games. There's this Bonk Adventure.
Bonk's Revenge.
I'm trying to think of the other.
Yeah.
Bonk's Revenge. Because this did... Yeah, I definitely know this is a fact. This did get released in the arcade as a coin-op as well.
Oh, okay. That's be interesting one to check out at some point.
Yeah, we need to do an arcade memories video. We haven't done one for a while. I'd like to take a look at Bonks in the arcade. Let us know in the comments, guys, what system you have played this game on and what you think of it. Let's talk about the TurboGrafx 16. We have mentioned this. I think we mentioned this on the Christmas special, mate. But it's like a hybrid console. It's not quite 8-bit, but it's not really 16-bit either.
No, it's in between. I need to remember which bit isn't. I think the CPU is the 8-bit side. The graphics processor is the 16-bit part of it, if my memory serves me correctly. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, for some reason, as a kid, I always assumed the TurboGrafx 16... because it's called a TurboGrafx 16, was 16-bit. I didn't know it was generally regarded as more of an 8-bit console, kind of a rival to the NES and Master System, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if you looked at the games, they look like 16-bit games. That would be the graphics. But yeah, I think the CPU, so the main processor, is an 8-bit processor.
Interesting. So, guys, if you want to know the plot, I've quickly pulled up Wikipedia here. So... I admit, I'm reading from Wikipedia here. But the plot. The game takes place in a fictional prehistoric era. Its protagonist is Bonk, a strong and bold... It actually says bald, guys. We're not baldest on this series, even though we do talk about bald heads quite a bit. A strong and bold, not bold, cave boy who battles anthropomorphic... There's a word, dinosaurs and other prehistoric enemies. Bonk's mission is to rescue Princess Czar.
Ooh, interesting.
Who has been kidnapped. Yeah, who has been kidnapped by the evil King Drool. In the arcade version.
Here we go.
So there is an arcade version. There we go. Bonk is also assisted by a female version of himself. So I guess that's co-op?
Wow,
is it co-op in the arcade?
Yeah, that sounds cool. That's one maybe for future arcade memories to see what it's like.
Sure, definitely we can play it co-op because we do like doing the co-op on this series, guys. We don't really... Yeah, we don't do a lot of single-player gaming on this series. If it's got two-player, we dive in. Going back to the graphical style of this, it still looks really, really good, doesn't it?
It looks absolutely fantastic. And gameplay-wise, it's cool. I mean, there's a bit of a head-button mechanic, which makes me laugh. And also you can sort of spin as well by tapping the head-butting button. It's awesome, guys. It's worth playing. It's worth checking out if you like your platformers.
To emphasise his bold noggin, I guess.
But
is it difficult as I remember? I remember this being a little bit difficult. What's happening here?
Either the game's glitched out or something strange has happened. Oh no, hang on, I can press start. Okay, I must have lost a life and needed to continue. That's what happened there. But it didn't tell me. Okay. Yeah. I just assumed.
Yeah, I remember playing this, again, going back to that expo in Bristol. I remember this being difficult. I I always say this, the games back in the day were hard, weren't they? Because they're not as big and as deep, I guess, as modern day games. So they made the life of the game longer, if you get my meaning, mate, by making it hard.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, games these days, they're all, cinematic and realistic sort of stuff going on. This isn't. This, you've got to use your imagination. It takes you to a fantasy world. But games were a lot harder back in the good old days. And that's not us being elitist. They just were. They were 10 times harder.
Yeah, they were, and I liked that. And I think I was talking to my brother about this, funny enough, yesterday. I think it's why I enjoy the games like Dark Souls now, and actually more recently Gran Turismo 7, because it doesn't hold your hand, GT7. It reminds me of what gaming was like as a kid, learning the mechanics of the game, getting good at the game, and that's what I like about these old games like Bonk's Adventure, guys. But that's a quick look at this TurboGrafx 16 masterpiece, I guess, because some people do class this as one of the better games on the TurboGrafx 16. Dave, thank you for joining me. Thank you for playing, because I didn't want to play this today. I just wanted to talk and let you die a lot instead of me die a lot. So guys, as always, look out for more content coming to Old School. We've got a retro football series as well, where we look at old football games, we play old football games. We've got other content come to the channel as well, so keep an eye out for those videos too. Speak to you soon, guys.